You.
Testing, testing.
Look at that. Oh wait, hang on. Let's move this back. Amazing.
Audio, man.
I feel like. Oh yeah.
That was a big deal.
Sound test. Amazing. Let's do this thing. I feel like we're always adjusting our setup, man. We might never get it right. It's okay. We've made peace with that. As long as we keep troubleshooting it. All I know is it will only get better and better.
And it's another beautiful Monday morning.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, crypto warriors, STAKK Nation.
Champions.
Yes, champions of the world. Welcome to another spectacular Monday morning.
Choo choo.
We hope you woke up on the right side of the bed
Mm-hmm.
because, if not, well, we don't have anything to say about that either. But let's just keep it.
We're here. So
We
hopefully
are
fix
here.
that.
Absolutely. We are here. And, generally, man, we aim to make everyone's day a little bit better than it was when they started, right?
Yes, sir.
Our stuff is a bit disorganized here, Double O. Just
Man.
give me a quick second. Let me swap around this.
I'm loving our t-shirt
situation
this
here.
morning, man.
What?
Look at that. You with a STAKK sweater, me putting on the BK crypto shirt.
Oh, okay.
Look at that.
Hey, what
Feel
can
it.
I say, man? We look sharp every day. Oh, well, absolutely incredible. Listen, let's dive into some activities here today, man. What are we looking at? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, before we get this shenanigans on the road here, please let us know if you can hear us very clearly.
Testing.
Testing. Yeah, look at that sound check.
1, 2, 3.
as always, we have BK Crypto in the house, Not Up Inc. in the house. I'm sure that's Marv there, right? It's probably .marv for the anyhow. And of course, we have Alan in the house. Alan says hi. Hello, Alan.
Alan, no.
Thank you for joining us this morning. BK says they can hear us clearly. Amazing. Speaking of BK, by the way, let me
Let's get you
share
started.
my screen here, man. Ladies and gentlemen, please be sure to check out our friends BK Crypto.
I'm wearing the t-shirt too, by the way.
Some sick apparel online, if you will. Even more exciting than that is what we are working on currently. I think down the line here, we'll be able to provide more value for our community, which at the end of the day is the mission, right? Getting more people to understand what blockchain is, getting more people to take advantage of this unique opportunity that we find ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
So, some coaching, etc. We'll be working on that and we'll share some details with you all there.
Pretty soon, coming to you soon.
Coming to a theater near you. Absolutely incredible. Well, listen, let's push on here, man. Let's dive into a quick look of what is going on in the markets right now. Right, just some price action, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Gonna do some screen sharing activities here. Double up.
Yes,
Take
sir.
it away, sir.
Oh, man. The market looks green, but for some reason, the last hour, since it just turned red. But as usual, as you can see here, Bitcoin in the last hour is still fighting the markets. Overall, though, it's still an upward trend. If we can put up the Bitcoin chart,
absolutely. I mean, look at that, 35K, man.
35K. We pull up a bullish flag there, and then we've kind of consolidated. A bullish flag consolidated could mean a serious big move to the upside if you're following the trends, but it's Bitcoin. Sometimes we just don't follow the trends. You can do a bullish flag, consolidate, and dip down because of some stupid FUD.
Exactly.
But hey, you never know. But right now we're looking at the bullish flag on the daily chart. So it's very, very bullish for those that trade. We're also seeing that it has crossed it made the golden cross in the last day or so. So with the 50-day exponential moving average has crossed the 200-day exponential moving average, which then means that, hey, you're full on bullish. If you're a trader, that means that, hey, it's call all the way. But you never don't be surprised, man. It's Bitcoin. You can still get damaged.
This morning I made a post on Twitter. First post in a long time. And guess what I said?
What did they say?
I said Bitcoin to 5K. Yeah.
Instigating as usual.
I know, man. I am just a chaotic individual. We don't want peace. Really,
I want trouble.
Every now and then I like to go start some stuff on social media and then I leave. I'm not even there to comment on it. Well, listen, and here is what we're going to be talking about today. Obviously, uh, as society has evolved over time, there's always been this group of people that you look up to as, how would you say, the compass, a guiding force, if you will.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
This is like, say, if you're going to get some medical advice, you want to go
Mm-hmm.
to someone who is in the medical field. If you want to get some financial advice, well, before we get to financial advice, because that's the shakiest one. If you want to get, any sort of advice, you go to someone in that field there. But in the financial field, it seems that uh, there are people who seem to, at least they had the basics down, right?
Mm.
We've spoken to multiple people before, and we have our reasons why we stopped listening to financial advice online, or at least mainstream. We talk about mainstream financial advisors,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your Dave Ramsey's and
Peter
all
Shifts,
those people
all
who
your CNBC
exactly.
subject matter experts.
That is not a problem. I think what happens then is that as times change, as things evolve, you must be able to adjust your, I guess, your approach or how you handle things to match with the current times, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, with no further ado, I think we should check out this video here
Let's do it.
so we can see the importance of why, it's important to pay attention to these things because just following blindly has never gotten anyone anywhere.
Hmm.
I would say.
Importance of self-education, even
Okay,
though you listen to the experts.
exactly. So let's hear what Dave Ramsey has to say here, and we'll like your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, you know us, we'll never hesitate to tell you what we think. We'll definitely
And what is
let
Bitcoin?
you know.
Bitcoin is a currency on the internet. It has no value except to the extent someone else will take it from you as value. Just like that paper has no value except the extent someone else will take it. So Bitcoin is the Iraqi dinar of the internet. And I know intelligent people who, while they're intelligent, are not wise, that have put a bunch of money in Bitcoin. But it's a really good way to turn $1 million into nothing, to play in unstable currencies that they're, and here's what you have. Let me tell you what Bitcoin is. It's WWW. It's the wild, wild west. You're back to the Western banking system. Because all of a sudden, one of these computer nerds just flips a switch. The whole freaking thing's gone. It has no value. They just got completely ripped off and it took them down. And so the little hipster techie guys are sitting in front of the building with a sign that says, "Where's my money?" Well, honey, you never had any. It's not real money because it's not a stable currency that has any kind of a system that backs it, that has any kind of a system that protects. Well, I've made a lot of money in Bitcoin. You can make a lot of money trading dirt to somebody else trading dirt until people catch on that dirt's not a good idea to trade. You can trade gravel out of your driveway as long as you can get away with it. And so just because you made some money doing it doesn't mean that it was a bright idea.
Take it away, sir. What are your thoughts?
Man, the guy came out right out the gates, not even knowing what he was talking about. Bitcoin is currency. Nah, Bitcoin is money. It's not currency. Currency is the means of transacting.
Hmm.
The actual store of value is that's what money is. So it came out being the educator, but not being informed about what's educating his audience about.
Yeah, I think what I find interesting about these concepts, this is where it's usually strange to me when you look at financial advisors and the advice that they give on money. In many ways, okay, the advice is sound. However, when it comes over to Bitcoin, which is actually a superior form of the same thing that they advise people on, it seems that there is a part of the brain that refuses to go there. I'll point out some of the things he said there. He says, well, if you want to trade dirt, right, you can trade dirt with anyone until people recognize that trading dirt is not valuable, and so they stop trading with you. You could use that same logic to say, well, you could be trading in dollars until people recognize that the dollar is not valuable, and then they don't trade with you anymore. So it kind of goes in both ways because money can be anything. You see what I'm saying? Money can be anything. It's not exact. It does not have to be this dollar bill thing where these people have disadvantage. And when you say you can trade it with others, uh, and it's not backed by anything, it's not valuable in any way. So people take it or will receive your money as long as they're willing to, put up with it, accept that it has some value for them. That is the very definition of money, right? When you look at the dollar at the end of the day, it's just backed by decree, right? So these people say, hey, we have a lot of firepower
Hmm.
and we said it's going to be so. That's all that is backing it. And I don't think that's a legitimate reason to say uh, that money has value, right?
Yep.
Because you can look at it that same way. So, but when you look at Bitcoin, you say, well, someone could say it's not backed by anything. But the reality is, actually, you answer that with his own point of view. People will accept Bitcoin as long as they both agree that it has that value. And it has more merit to be accepted in that way because we know that it is a limited supply and you can self custody it. It has all these capabilities that your real money should have. So I'm not understanding where they are not able to make that connection.
No, I mean, it was right in one aspect
Mm.
that fiat is not backed by anything. This is something that it supports. It literally said that in the same show, in the same sentence. Fiat is not backed by anything.
Mm.
But you're trading rocks. Guess what is rocks? Isn't gold rocks? Isn't gold dirt?
This is
Isn't
true.
we the people that give gold value?
Actually,
Money
yes.
is anything
Yes.
that we decide to give value. Because at some point, money was rocks, money was seashells.
Mm.
We decided to trade that. Gold is dirt, literally dirt. But we decided to give it value because it has some other potentials or some other value, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing that now happens because now we're living in a more digital age. Bitcoin is energy, but now with a technological protocol on top of it.
Mm.
You have to create and consume energy to create value. We do that. To get gold, you have to consume energy to get access to the gold. To get oil, you have to consume energy to get access to the oil. Same thing with Bitcoin. It's not just printed out of tin here like the fiat that is saying it supports.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Just a big gap in the mindset.
Here's the shocking part. At the time when this video was created,
10 years ago.
Bitcoin was $500.
Mm-hmm.
This person says it goes.
A
You're
ton,
gonna. It's a great way to lose all of your money.
yeah, $20 million into zero.
Listen, the evidence is public, man. We don't
Show
need
up.
to. We don't need to drag it on. Okay.
If you had Bitcoin at that time at $500,
Of
right?
course.
Guess how much money you have right now? 64 million dollars.
Sounds like
If
it.
you had listened to him, and I was just saying that on Twitter, I think yesterday,
Yeah.
that if I had not listened to the CNBC piece of crap, I would have bought Tesla at $55. Tesla went up to $1,200,
Mm.
and I had money to buy a ton of Tesla at the time. Two splits since then. Imagine if you held onto your Tesla with all the different splits that they've had. You'll be a multi-millionaire right now if you bought Tesla. So you gotta be careful what you listen to. You gotta do some self-research. I mean, if you're listening to us, you must well like and subscribe right now because we're bringing you the knowledge. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
if you listen to us, you should also verify it. You know what I mean? Don't take our word for it because we're not. I cannot really claim that I'm a Bitcoin
Expert.
expert. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you might be Jake Fever though.
No one knows the future of Bitcoin. No one has experienced Bitcoin in a different phase than the rest of us here on Earth. So it really just comes down to I think that the biggest advantage that you can have in this Bitcoin space is understanding human psychology,
Mm-hmm.
understanding the games that other people play, looking at patterns of various things that happen, right, in such similar situations. You can bring up the internet, Tesla, all these
Mm-hmm.
companies, like you were saying, that started off from that early phase.
Mm-hmm.
How do people behave then? And what can you do to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes?
Yep.
Is what I mean.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what I'll
Yep.
say to that.
Yep.
There's another one here, but before we look at this video here, let's take a look at some of these comments because it's pretty awesome here. Of course, we have Alan says yes, he can hear us, and Jake Fever in the house, man. What's up, brother? Hope all is well. He says he didn't understand the protocol of Bitcoin. He will forever look stupid for this statement, just like many others. Ramsey Brand will be hurt by this 2030.
I think his brand is already getting hit because a lot of his followers are stuff. I mean, it's really good at getting you to get out of debt because
I think there was a generation that was aiming to have a 401k and save their money and retire. I think that was a great market. It did its job there. Cannot complain with it, but it's just about the evolution piece there. You gotta evolve, man. All right, so I agree with you there. So gold is trading rocks, literally.
Literally is.
Definitely is.
It is rocks.
I mean, yeah, you took it from the ground. It's in the ground. It's in the ground. Yeah, I guess I was just thinking of the periodic table. It's a metal.
It is a metal with some substantial value.
Yes, from
you
the ground.
You can use it as a conductor. It's a good conductor.
Yeah. It's a natural resource, like anything else,
like oil,
but
like corn.
Absolutely, I agree with you guys there. Jake also says Bitcoin is the only asset man has known with true scarcity.
Yep.
Everything that man values is because it's scarce. And a little while back we spoke about people's perception of value, and I think these days people have forgotten the true definition of value. Value cannot be something that everyone has. You understand? I remember there was a point in time, right? There was this watching some guys who do content around vehicles, right? And everyone was buying. One person bought a Huracan, and then everyone started buying a Huracan. At that point in time, it just made the Huracan lose its value to me, right? When I saw them anymore, I just did not get that shock you get when you see a Lambo, right? So that is one of those things, and I think when it comes to people's monetary value, people have definitely lost all sense of true value, almost. Right? I mean, there's still a few of us out here, so it's all good. Let's take a look at this next video here, Double O, and interesting one.
You know what's funny though? This goes back to the title, right?
Right.
Lost in the past. Old school financial experts that just can't see it. They can't see it. And this is what everybody listens to every day, y'all. This is what 90% of America listen to. This is why they don't get it.
It is true.
It's a total outgrowth of people starting to get worried about these currency crises, debt crises. Where are these things accepted? Still not a lot of places. I checked out online, not a lot of websites that you would recognize, but the places are kind of novelty clothing, gaming sites. Yeah, wait for it, porn, some of those places. But, there are a lot of drawbacks. There are a lot of fears that I'm sure that our guests are going to talk about. But this tells...
It's funny they say that, Dan.
What's that?
But this is all changing real quick. They say the same thing with the internet. Nobody's using the internet to sell products, right? Nobody's going to use the credit card to buy stuff. Now, you see credit cards everywhere. You see the internet. Like, literally, we cannot even operate in this world without the internet.
You cannot.
They said the same thing about Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's happening again.
Tells you how really insecure people are in this age of debt and currency crises and all the other things that we have going on in the world.
First, I have to give Bitcoin creators credit. At least they know enough not to trust fiat money that's controlled by our government. But they're trying to reinvent the wheel, and they've come up with a flat tire. We already have a perfect, real form of money, and it's called gold. Money has to have 4 elements. It has to be very rare, indestructible, divisible without losing its purchasing power, and cannot be increased by fiat. And Bitcoins fail on the first 2.
Doesn't gold fail on the first 2? Divisible without losing its valuables?
Yeah.
Can you divide gold?
In some ways, you could also say gold is also massively losing when he talks about not losing its value. I mean, look at inflation. I think gold is losing to that as well.
Yeah, and it's only going by a 9% growth rate per year or whatever that is. And gold is scarce. Really? Have you been to Ghana? Have you been to have you been to India? Yeah. What makes gold so scarce?
Exactly. If you keep looking for it, you keep finding it.
They are not rare, and they are very much destructible.
Had PayPal invented Bitcoin, we'd all be heralding it as the most important financial revolution since the internet, since the credit card, perhaps. And I guess I would say, as for those first 2 points, as to it being destructible and rare, I guess I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, gold is only rare because it's physically scarce, but right. Bitcoin is rare because it counts on the scarcity of CPU time. And so, likewise, as to destructibility, I think that's also sort of in question.
What are the chances of someone coming up with a counterfeit Bitcoin, and they present that to an end user, and they're accepting this phony Bitcoin?
We've seen that
I guess the
already.
chances would be astronomically low, and that's the whole design. I mean, the way that you create a Bitcoin is that you basically have to find a larger, rare number, bigger than any of the other Bitcoin out there. And so every Bitcoin, the next Bitcoin is even harder to create. And so I'd say right now it requires vast amounts of CPUs, generally through Amazon Cloud and things like this, to create the next Bitcoin. So it'd be exceedingly impossible or exceedingly difficult to create a counterfeit Bitcoin.
So hacking Bitcoin could be a problem, but what about someone coming up with a counterfeit that end users don't recognize as being counterfeit, and that eroding the purchasing power of all existing Bitcoin?
You guys, I guess...
This guy on the right looks familiar here. Is there anymore? I think that's pretty much it. He looks familiar. I was going to think, is that Scaramucci? I forgot. But he looks familiar. And he looks like someone that's probably buying Bitcoin now. But nonetheless, I mean, we can see how incorrect, mainstream media was, right, at this point in time. And this is information going out to the masses, right? At this point in time, before most people could even get the opportunity to truly understand what Bitcoin was, I think that the image of this asset has already been smeared, right? Whether they say it's mostly used by drug dealers for money laundering, etc., etc. It's the same thing they use for everything. But all of these things were happening frequently without
Bitcoin in the fiat
itself,
system,
right? This is why there were banks over in Singapore that just nobody audits, because everyone understands what time it is. It's incredible. But I think for the average person, this is why it's so important to
educate yourself.
Educate yourself and maybe turn away from
CNBC.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I mean, society as a whole definitely agrees that we don't trust mainstream media. And this is the evidence of all of those things. So I know most people watching us right now, you guys are already up to speed. But if there's anyone that this makes a difference for them, I think that we've done our job here. And the mission is to just keep informing people, right? We have to keep relentlessly talking about this thing until everybody gets it, because mainstream isn't stopping with their madness. So
yeah, I would say 90% of what they said on that CNBC show, aside of the guy with the ads, was very inaccurate. They were very misinformed.
Everything was misinformation.
The reality of Bitcoin and how Bitcoin comes about and how Bitcoin cannot be hacked. How they've attempted to hack Bitcoin, and we have Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Silver. The list goes on and on. And then you want to talk about, oh, wait a second, oh, it's not scarce. How does Bitcoin get created? List after list of what all the excuses that they've come up with. I think right after that was when they came up with, oh, it's not good for the environment. Just keep bringing all your excuses. But now, guess what? The same people that are saying no, we now have their big boss, BlackRock, saying, oh, guess what? It's good for the environment. We're going to get involved in it. And now they will now convince all of you to go and buy the paper Bitcoin instead of the real thing.
They say education is power, right? And that's what most people need to do at this point in time. We have El Debnam El in the Hizao. Okay, what's up, brother? Hope all is well. He says he's liking the red beads there.
Oh yeah, I probably should get some from him when I go to Nigeria.
Strong one. You should definitely do. You're going in December, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
All right. There we go.
Don't let them know I'm coming though. The chief's about to be in town.
Yeah, they're gonna be waiting for you at the airport, sir. Yes. Well, any final thoughts before we wrap this one up here, sir? I think that for me, it's very clear at this point in time that we must be able to just take our own financial future into our hands. There is this concept of investing in a 401k or just holding your money in whatever sort of
bonds,
business,
mutual funds,
investment instruments,
60-40 rules
over time, right? And those are not working anymore. That's for sure, right? Like very much like Dave Ramsey said, when you go to withdraw this money at the time of retirement, it's going to be a case of, well, you had no money, dummy, to begin with, right? It is. I don't want to say it's stupid, but I mean, what can one expect if you can see that the numbers are not matching, but you carry on with the same behavior? This is why myself and many others are taking massive, let me not say myself, but I know some people with the strategy of taking their 401k and converting it into Bitcoin. I would say that, so far the strategy is
It's working.
paying off massively. Say, for example, if someone took a loan from their 401k when Bitcoin was at 15k,
somebody,
right, and put it into Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin from when it was at 15k,
100% return,
right, to just take the S&P, for example, and look at the return since when it was just at 15k a few months ago. I think there is no argument to be had there. Okay?
Smart guy.
You know what I'm saying?
That is the real financial expert.
Listen, and even you're your own financial expert, okay? And even my barber, right? I was paying him in Bitcoin since
15, 16k.
Yeah. I'm sure he's happy now. So
no, literally, every time I go to my barber, Kenny, you gonna pay me in Bitcoin?
Exactly.
I'm like, I'll pay you in Bitcoin.
Before you give your final thought here, okay?
Yes,
I'm just gonna Jake left one final thought, and I thought that's pretty important. Get to 1 Bitcoin ASAP,
and
as soon as possible,
and store it by yourself.
Yes, everything you do should be about getting to that 1 Bitcoin, right? Double up.
Yep.
Wrap it up. Let's go, sir.
Yeah, let's make it quick.
Yeah.
Just want to tell y'all though, keep it simple. Don't complicate yourself. As you can see on those 2 different shows, they themselves, with their own mouths, said that fiat is being debased, that fiat is just paper, that it's nothing, it's what nothing, it's not based even on gold, it's just a promise that we, the United States, will support that money. But in that same statement, they say that the country have some big financial debt issues.
Mm-hmm.
The government cannot stop spending. So if they spend, the value of your money goes down. So do you just sit down there and listen to people that have just accepted death while still living? Or you say you want to fight. You want to fight back peacefully and still be able to store your value without someone stealing it, either with inflation or taxes.
Peaceful revolution.
See that right there?
Dun, 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 dun. Listen.
BK Crypto.
Listen, Jake Fever woke up this morning with a frying pan and he wants to hit everyone in the heads with it. Says, what happens to Dave Ramsey if you buy Bitcoin and get out of debt? His business is done. He lives off the bank's plan to keep us down. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, okay, we're smarting up. Okay.
Financial expert with no license.
Yes. Okay. Who even give someone a license of finance expert, man? It's if you have economics or economics degree, not even economics degree, do basic addition and subtraction and you're good. Please subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It really means a lot that you guys come out and hang out with us like this on Monday. Really appreciate it. Could not thank you guys enough. Please subscribe to the channel. Follow us on X as well. We are STAKK over there, right? Always ready to engage with you anytime. Let us know if there is any sort of topics you'd like us to give our take on. We're glad to do that. And of course, we are on Spotify, very likely as STAKK as well. Until next time, eat your vegetables. Have a spectacular week. Praise and out.